Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte and I am coming at you today with a perfect video for the people who always wanted to find more stuff in their game or just wanted a big freaking spinner to put in their house. Well, as I said, your prayers have been heard, because I am going to build this for you. I am not yet sure how I am going to be able to do this, but I bet that with some help from me, myself and some logic thinking that I would possibly be able to finish this in time to get myself a nice warm bath and cook it. Oh wait, once I am done with this thing, I am able to make like 20 freaking cool videos in this bad boy and still have some room left for whatever else I want to do. But that of course means that I first have to go make this thing, and that is probably going to be the hardest part. Like I said, I would just need some logic thinking to build this thing. Well, that might not be my strong suit, and well, you know, it actually just flat out is not my strong suit, so this might be taking a while to finally complete it. Well, I guess that starting this thing will probably give me some directions. So with just starting the project, I guess I could say that I am halfway done already, right? I mean, it is not like some Lego build. This is some serious big freaking spinner that I am about to go and find. So forgive me if it takes like an insane amount of time to finally get done, because you know, I am learning on the fly with this thing. So maybe you could just help along with me, since I am going to be building this thing and it will be insane. And that might not help with the interesting part of the video, but I mean, at least we can all have a little learning experience by searching something like this. So let's say that we can actually build a spinner house that is good enough to make like an insane amount of videos with it. I am looking for this thing on the top of a beautiful day here, so I am not sure if that will actually help me in the looking process, but I am going with the fact that it probably will not help me with that. So let's just hope that we do not end up failing or anything. But now that I am actually building it, I think that I will manage to pull it off. Lately I have been wanting to go out and relive a little bit of my youth. You know, just go around and doing some really nostalgic stuff. So that got me thinking, what is really nostalgic and what could I do that is really nostalgic? And you know that you cannot just go and do something nostalgic to make something actually feel nostalgic. So you might know this, but to make something feel nostalgic, you just have got to do something, and the feeling will come whenever it is there. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia. And I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And the first thing that we are going to be doing has to do with these fidget spinners right here, because that is what me and my parents used to do when I was younger. So the first thing that I am going to do to find that feeling of nostalgia is just to go ahead and go to this house here. So something other than the noobs that would make me feel all nostalgic is just to go ahead and play a lot of games. And also we had these hillies which were awesome, and now since Roblox does not really have any kind of those things, we are just going to go ahead and play the fidget spinner factory. So this will be shooting us into a lot of different angles right now, and maybe one or maybe some of them will just give me that authentic feeling of nostalgia. At least that is what I am hoping for right now. Otherwise I am just going to get bamboozled probably, and I will not get that feeling of nostalgia, and I will probably just end up crying in bed all night. Or maybe I will not. It is still a little bit of a surprise for me right now. Who knows? Maybe I will just start crying whenever I get that feeling of nostalgia, because it will give me that feeling of having a little throwback moment, or just an actual feeling of being back into my childhood, which would be amazing, to be honest, because I love the time really. Now you might be thinking, well, SubZeroExtabyte, why do you want to play with fidget spinners, or in this case this house fidget thing, to go ahead and feel nostalgic again? Well, that is actually a pretty long story, but to make it a little short for you guys, I just wanted to make something really cool for you guys, as in a video, and I just wanted this video to kind of hit home, so that you can watch this and it will make you appreciate your childhood and all of that, or just your youth in general, to be honest. And then I was thinking about the things that made me enjoy and love my childhood, and that was mostly just playing around in the summer, Having those late nights where you had to sprint back home because the street lights turned on and you should have been home by the time that this happened. And I just wanted you guys to know that you should appreciate all of those things, because once you get older all of that is just going to be gone, and that is not a fun thing at all. But it is a part of growing up, and I personally never liked it. But now of course that does not correlate in with the fact that I wanted to go play with these spinners all of a sudden after all of this stuff. Even Bendy despised those things, but I do not, because I love them, and that is great if you ask me. And that is basically just because that is what I used to do when I was a kid, and I used to love it. Or actually, I will just go ahead and tell you the truth. I really did not ever go into an arcade hall myself. I am just going to be honest with you guys here. I never went there. But still, the thought of these toys make me feel really nostalgic, and I will tell you why right now. I used to love to watch Toy Story, like the movies, and you have got 3 movies right now. And you have got some kind of Christmas special if I remember correctly. But I used to love those movies. Maybe they would even get a fidget spinner as a toy character if they made a new Toy Story movie. I would actually really love a new Toy Story movie, to be honest. And honestly, I still love these movies. But lately the weather has been getting better, and it is starting to feel a little warmer out. And I just figured that this gave me a nostalgic feeling. And that is what I am going to be pursuing today, because it just felt so amazing. I just love my life, and I love building, and I love fidget spinners. That kind of gives a perspective to things. Sometimes knowing all is not the best thing for a human, especially when you do not know how to process some things that are like really big and revealing. It is something that makes you think, does it not? But well, we are not here to think now, are we? We are here because we want to see things getting mod right now. And you know you are not wrong for coming here for just that, because that is basically the only reason why I am here. But then again, you can guess that we are also just here to fool around and not talk about serious topics for a while. So please excuse me if I go too far on some subject, but sometimes it is rather hard for me not to talk about things that I know a lot about. So like I said, please just excuse me for that. I am looking for something that will take out the spinner without dealing too much damage to my wallet, but this did not even do any damage to my credit card. Now that is really good because I am cheap, so I will just have to keep testing and see whatever I can come up with to make something like this. And you may be thinking, well okay, SubZeroExtabyte, we have got that out of the way, but that really does not make any sense to why you want to go ahead and play with these fidget spinners. Well, if you have seen the first Toy Story movie, then you could tell that they go into some diner where you can get pizza, and they have an arcade inside of that pizza store place thing. And that is why toys in general make me feel nostalgic, because that always takes me back to Toy Story. And Toy Story always takes me back to my childhood, and that is just really cool in my opinion. So when you are growing up, you should look for those things. You should go ahead and look for the things that make you feel nostalgic to your childhood. And whenever you feel like that, you can just literally teleport back to your childhood. And that of course all just goes for feelings, right? I mean, you cannot literally teleport back into your childhood when you are watching Toy Story and feel nostalgic, but you can actually make your feelings go back to your childhood. And I cannot really explain the feeling of nostalgia. I just know that it feels really weird from time to time, and I know that I love this feeling because it is just the best thing out there. And I think that nostalgia is something really powerful when you are growing up, because it makes you feel right at home, just like these fidget spinners do for me. It is just weird to think that all of a sudden I got so invested in some random toys. But these things are great, to be honest. Oh my god, this is so weird. I mean, I used to love to play with these back in the day, and this really just gets me back to that time. Wow, that is actually amazing, you guys. I mean, I have not played with any of these things in like the longest time, but this is just something that takes me right back to those days. And I mean, like, there is just something about this game, or these toys, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it is kind of old when you think about it, but it is still fun. And I feel like whenever I play these slightly older games, I mean, the fidget spinners are great, but we all still love gaming, right? So that is something that I feel like to be really special right now. And I feel like this house is coming along pretty well, if I must say so myself. Okay, but right now you guys can just throw away like everything that I just said about how Toy Story makes me feel, because this is what really makes me feel some kind of way. I mean, come on you guys. If the spinner does not make you feel a little fuzzy in your stomach, then you have not played enough with toys back in the day. So if I were you, I would just go ahead and starting playing with some toys right now because you my friend have got some catching up to do. And I am not kidding right now because that is just something that really loved me when I was younger. I mean I loved the games I played. It did not love me, and I can tell you guys for a fact that it did not love me because for some reason I always lost my toys. Now this is one of the reasons why I am here at these slider things or factory belts. I mean it is just some way that I will never lose another toy again. I mean I lost like a lot of my toys over the years and there are some that I never found ever again. But that will never happen again when I have my own fidget house right here. But alright, enough talks about these spinners and Toy Story and such. If that even was enough. But that does not matter because Minecraft is next up in our overhaul game mode deluxe extravaganza. It is a really fun thing today, is it not? I mean I am having a great old time right here. So I hope that the same thing goes for you guys. Because like I said, you guys are the reason why I am here in the first place. And because of you guys, I will someday have that feeling of nostalgia when I am playing Roblox or just when I am on YouTube in general. But like always, Minecraft is another game that really gets me back to when I first started playing Minecraft. I mean I already did cover some of the fidget spinner hype in my Minecraft hands video. And if you have not seen that yet then I would highly recommend you to go do that because it is just awesome. Now one thing that I would like to mention though, is that it would be great if there was a Minecraft tool that was a fidget spinner. Or at least a mod, right? That would be pretty awesome I feel like. So maybe we can do something like that once. I mean there is nothing as good as a good nostalgic feeling. But I was trying to make a point but I keep getting lost in my thoughts. So what I was trying to say is that when I was feeling all nostalgic when I left the gym and I felt that breeze, and I started feeling all nostalgic, well that is when I started to think like, where is this feeling coming from? You know, because I wanted to find out why I was feeling all nostalgic at that point. And that is when I noticed it. I started thinking back at all the times where I felt that same breeze, and that same smell of the summer. And it just got me back to the old days, when I was just playing around with some friends in this suburban town that I grew up in. And it made me feel amazing. Actually, it just made me feel really good because it took me back to all those long summer evenings where we would be playing hide and go seek in the entirety of the neighborhood. And I mean we would just climb everywhere. We would be hiding in everybody their backyard. And no one would care about that because everyone just knew each other back then. It was tight. And this fidget house right now is ever tighter. Not literally. I mean it is pretty roomy. I mean I could go on and rant about that for the rest of the video, but I will just save you from that right now. I just want to touch up on one more thing and then I will just stop. But I honestly do not know why all of this just takes me back. But I feel like this is something that is really powerful for me. So I just hope that some of you might have that same thing going on whenever they see something that takes them back to when you were younger. And maybe you are too young to have that same feeling right now. But one day you will have that feeling of nostalgia. And it will take you back to that long and warm summer evening with all of your friends just playing around. And I get that not everyone still plays outside and stuff. So that might not apply to you. But one day, you will have that feeling of nostalgia, and it really does not matter where it will take you, but it is going to be taking you somewhere. And as long as that somewhere is something that makes you feel good and makes you feel at home, then that is a really powerful thing if you have got to ask me. And even with these spinners, I hope that I will keep loving these for the rest of my life. So it looks like we are about to be done with this thing and it will be fully operational. But would you just look at the size of this thing? It is insane. I mean I have been to New York and other big cities, and the fact that those buildings and skyscrapers are so high is insane. But this thing, well, this is just something else for a change. Usually like with the enhanced swords and stuff it was just 2 blocks wide. Well this thing is not messing around. Oh no, I took a wrong freaking step. Well that is a bummer. I guess dead people cannot use a freaking fidget thing. That is why we are able to respawn in the beautiful world of Minecraft. I mean I would be so pissed if I actually ended up dying and to just not be able to use this thing then. Well that would be a huge bummer. But we are not completely down and out. But I will be needing some protection so the spinner house does not get blown up. And then we can finally start to figure out what kind of things we can actually start using and filming and freaking rad up with this thing. It is like we have reinvented the freaking wheel. But instead of the wheel we built a cool freaking spinner house. this. Let's just hope that I do not end up losing my mind over this thing, because I am really afraid that I actually end up just really stressed out, and at that point I am pretty sure that this thing will come and haunt me in my dreams, which would really be kind of a bummer in my case, because sleep is something that I really kind of enjoy doing from time to time, and by time to time I mean twice a day, and sometimes 3, but that depends on what kind of breakfast I had. But I still cannot figure out how to actually build something with this thing. How bad is it that I am not even sure what to do with this thing when I am the one who should be knowing what to do with it? I know that I am supposed to be melting stuff and stuff, but I guess that this is just way harder than it actually looks. Just try it for yourself. I bet that you guys are able to build this thing on your own. Just try it out and maybe tell me if you actually ended up getting this thing to work. I hope that you still enjoyed it.